What's going on, everybody? Fala, Enzo. Salve. What's going on? Salve, salve, rapaziada. Olá, Argentina. Hey, guys. Salve, salve. Yo. Boa. So I'm just gonna make something. I don't know. I'm starting like something from scratch. Probably like a Hades from that new game that came out that I got for the Switch. So we'll see. We'll just get something. I'm not gonna spend too much time here, but just thought I could start this. Fala, galera, salve, salve. Do some Q&A, mostly a Q&A. And then we can go from there. Also, my internet is kind of dying. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, Hades is awesome. Like, I got it from Switch. I played just a little bit, but just a little bit I played. It's pretty cool. So, não conheço nenhum BR da Nintendo. Tudo bem, cara, e você? Fala, Thiago. Hi from friends, Calvin. Vou começar a fazer um personagem novo aqui. I'm gonna be bouncing back and forth Portuguese, English, so you guys just hang with me. And then just have some fun. I'm just waiting to see if more people show up, but I'm just gonna get started here. And have you guys seen this kind of base mesh that I made a long time ago that I still use? So you guys feel free to send questions, and I'll get to them if I can. But I'm just here to sketch and maybe share with you guys a little bit of this beginning process, because I'm just gonna try to block out some of the costuming. And if you guys have seen the Hades, let me pull up the Hades, what I'm using for inspiration here. Let's see if this works. Bring it up in ZBrush so you guys can see. That's kind of the art from the game. You guys have seen it. Pretty cool. So we'll see. Cool, guys. I'm just gonna take use it as inspiration, but then kind of do my own thing with it. Maybe like spin the design a little bit more, do almost like a AAA version of it. That could be pretty cool. You'll see my dog is barking. Wait, that's not my dog. Neighbor's dog. So like even for, you guys hear the music at all, or is this like pretty faint? So like for sketching out things, I try to keep it very loose. If you guys seen some of the other videos on even on the channel, um, try to keep it very simple, just kind of extracting some stuff and uh, and then using Dynamesh to just kind of get things in place. So like even from here, I'm just gonna start getting like some of that cloth out of this shape and just kind of smooth it out, all this stuff. I can kind of easily mask it. So let me say I want to get that cloth out of him. I'll mask it, and then I'll hit the extract button here and just kind of get the shape out of this. And this is like pretty bad as is, but it just saves me a lot of time, right? So like if we do something like this, I'm really like not worrying too much about proportions and yeah, the stream will be available. Dark Knight, it always gets saved afterwards, so you can watch afterwards. So like I'm not worried too much about proportions and all that stuff. I'm just getting it the geometry to exist, and then later on I can worry about placement and all that stuff. So if I hit Dynamesh, now I can get the topology to be kind of easier to manipulate, you know, and I can get some things to just work without worrying too much about topology. I'll do this very quickly. You guys can, you know, ask questions or whatever. It says that my like internet is down, but I'm hoping that it's just a hoax. Hoping it'll be okay. So I'm getting that one piece of cloth. And I'm gonna try to kind of like add a little bit more realism to this. I'm gonna kind of play with some different type of like costuming elements, like add a little more detail. Honestly, guys, I'm not gonna be able to answer a bunch of like technical questions here, but I'll try. I'm not tired. No, I'm not tired. It's Sunday, so. But you know, a question. Let's see who asked this question about hair for games. Reddick asking like, what's the process of creating hair for games? It's all based on cards, right? So you need to make like a legit texture, bake it onto a card, and then uh, place the cards. You know, doing the hairstyles and all that. It's a tedious process and not that fun. But the result is pretty cool. So I'm just gonna leave this here. I'm gonna duplicate this guy, and I want to get that kind of red other piece of cloth that he has. I'm just gonna Dynamesh this. Check this out. That one kind of hangs on the arm. So it's one thing to just do this and get things like in place. It's another thing to like finalize this, right? So don't worry too much about what I'm doing here. It's just to get the piece in place, and then later that's where the magic starts of just kind of getting this to a final quality is the hardest part, in my opinion. And I'm not talking about details really. It's just more about getting the shapes in place and feeling natural proportions and all that. Here I'm just kind of extracting some stuff. Poseidon, nice name. Just curious about like what type of number of UDIMs you see for one character in AAA. Like we don't really use UDIMs. Like you can say UDIMs, but all materials are its own thing. Like we don't share different UDIMs within the same material. But if you're talking just about like how many different texture sets and material sets and all that per character, it's usually, I mean, it really varies, but it's usually, from like 3 to 6. It's kind of a good guesstimate, but it really case by case. There's not a limitation for that. You just have to be smart in how to use it. So it's not, streaming in too many textures, or, um, if your resolution is good enough, you just have to kind of make a call based on what you're seeing, if that makes sense. We don't use UDIMs as you would in like a movie or cinematic. Maybe we actually like start exploring some options, but at least we don't have that support right now. Yeah, dude. Vin the Guzman. Almost like Vin Diesel. But yeah, man, 21, dude, you're super young. What are you talking about? 21 is the perfect age to start, like it's the age that you should be starting to explore what do you want to do. You have so much time to learn. I wish I was 21 again. I actually started when I was, around 17. Um, and I mean, when I said started, I wasn't like going into and working and everything. I just kind of started playing with 3D. So like when I was 21, like I was working at a studio back home. But it was like, I mean, I was, just starting. 21 is perfect age. Even if you're like, 30, 40s, whatever, man. Like it only takes a few years. It's really about the baggage that you accumulated over the years, right? So if you have a good artistic baggage, and you starting 3D or character design or game art or whatever, it's all about like how much you accumulated, your culture, like how much content you consume over the years, just so when you start doing stuff like this, like you would have somewhat of a baggage to go from. So a lot of people ask me like, do you need to learn how to draw? Should I learn how to draw before I jumped into 3D? And it's kind of the same answer. Like you have to think about the baggage that you can accumulate over the years. So if drawing is something you enjoy and you can do it like every day, you're accumulating that baggage, or you're accumulating knowledge. Like you're gonna learn about proportions, you're gonna learn about color theory, all this character design and all that. So when you get into 3D or whatever, like you will have that baggage. So the same thing with the age. Like sometimes people, I get a lot of message of people that are like on their 40s or something, like wanting to start. And if you work with this before, if you're already, if you've been drawing for all these years, and you're gonna do this really easy. Like then it's just about the tool. It's not so much about the knowledge that you accumulate with art, art theory and all that. It's just about the tool itself. So uh, just go for it. Like you're gonna do it so much easier. That's why you see a lot of guys who draw 2D guys that get started with 3D and then just destroy it. Like because it's about the tool. Then it's not so much about art. It's about just mastering the tool, and that doesn't take too long. Like in 6 months, if even sometimes less, sometimes a couple of days. Like I've seen people just get it in a couple of days. And ZBrush, the beauty of ZBrush is that you don't need a lot to become good at it. Like you can see here, I'm using kind of just the basics. I mean, of course, you can get very, very technical with it, but to do character work, just to do kind of the basic stuff. You don't need a lot. So go for it, my dude. Doing good, guys. Doing good. My dude started at 55. Raven Boy returns. Proud of you. Hope that's true. That's the fun of it, you know. You know, like I hope I can when I'm older, I can just do different stuff. Like I just want to be like sculpting, like clay sculpting full time. You know, just doing my stuff. That's kind of my dream. And if you ask me, like, you know, I started like now. I started when I was on my 20s, but you know, I didn't master that, like, because yeah, I didn't do it enough. So it's something that I want to do. Like again, it's all about the same fundamentals. You know, like I know when I go into like clay sculpting, it's just a matter of time for me to get good at it. Like some of the guys that I admire because they've been doing it nonstop, you know, and I respect that. So you just had to pick your battles and get good at one thing, get really good at one thing, and then you can kind of expand on what you want to do. That's one thing I recommend, you know. Yeah, Justin. I mean, it's a good example, and he's just doing a bunch of stuff. Like he's going on the kind of character design, concept art um, kind of role, which is, you know, a beast on itself. So much competition out there. You know, not competition in a way of, you know, like bad competition, but just so many talented people. They just have to kind of try to keep up with. Peter was asking if what do I think if more studios are gonna open to allowing remote jobs now that they've seen they can function. I think so. I think so. It's already happening. You know, studios are making that shift, that transition, because not so much because they know it could work. Of course, that's one thing, but just like what the future is looking like. You know, it's the reality of the situation. Even when we come back, things are not going to be normal. It's going to take a while, and in 1 2 years, like it's it's a huge time sink. You know, so studios are just adapting. So I do think when you know when this stuff when you know when the vaccine is here and all that, studios are going to change. A lot of studios were doing that before, and people are just realizing that they don't need the space. I don't like it though. I like going to the studio, doing my thing. Um, I am definitely not looking forward to this remote working crap. It is good for people from outside the U.S. though. That's for sure. I have a lot of friends, and even friends that I'm working with now, that we were only able to pull that off because of the situation. So uh, the one good thing that came out of this whole COVID shit. Uh, yeah, Corey, like you're getting into sculpting and you're just not good at drawing. Should I learn that first? That's kind of you know, I just touched base on that. Like, it's just do what you think you're gonna be able to do it consistently. Like, you don't have to draw if you like 3D. You can learn the same fundamentals as long as you study the same fundamentals, right? Like anatomy, proportions, like sketching. Like you can learn the same thing. So just kind of do your thing, man. Secret is consistency. So if you don't like drawing, you don't have to push it, or you know, kind of force yourself to do it. Just just do what you love, man, and the result will come out of it, because it's all about like how much you do it. That's why people get good at it. I'm just gonna split this up, and I want to do a little bit of anatomy. I consider doing tattoos. No, I never considered doing tattoos. I like them, but never considered being a tattoo artist. So if I do character animation, like funny that I started as an animator when I started studying it. Like I did uh, courses, actually one course in character animation. So I kind of, and this is more because I didn't know much about the industry. Like back then, we didn't have as much information as we have now. So I went in just because I want to work with 3D, and I did a character animation course, and I started specializing in animation. I got a job, and I was doing like advertising, and animation was part of it. But then, like working more as a generalist, I was just doing everything. So I naturally started moving into modeling when I was at the job. And then, funny enough, when I made that transition, or so I started to make that transition, ZBrush came out, and I just studied to get good at it, and I've been doing that ever since. So that when I started studying ZBrush and making a portfolio out of ZBrush, it's when like a bunch of doors opened up for me for like different kind of freelance work. And then I left the job. I left the job because I had a couple clients, stable clients. Like I was doing a lot of like small freelances, but I got a couple stable clients that I was getting like jobs every couple weeks, like very frequently. So then I left my job at a studio, and I just started doing that. And then the funny or the good thing about it was that because I was doing that kind of just freelance work at home, I had a lot more time to just kind of do my own stuff. So that's when I went head down to build my portfolio or focus on characters, and that helped me get my job, get my first few jobs into game because I was building my portfolio in kind of for video game characters, and that's how I got a couple gigs at like Ubisoft, and I was doing a lot of cinematic character work. That's how that's how things started. Let me see here. I apologize if I missed some of the questions. So feel free to don't spam, but just send it again if I didn't get to it. I'll try to answer some of the ones that I can, because some of these are just too technical, and unless I'm showing how I'm doing it, like it's just hard to explain. I'm doing good, man. Doing good. There's a couple questions about retopology, and you should think about retopology when you're sculpting. Yes, but it's more. I think the more you do it, the more it's just subconsciously things are gonna work or not. Like right now, I don't really kind of stop to think about it, but I know what I'm doing. So if you're starting, I think you just have to go through the process, and then you make mistakes along the way. Like I've made tons of mistakes, and you next time you realize that that you should do things differently. It's good to have people that have done it before to call you out on things. So like if you're building a piece that's like too complex, and if it's for a game model, even if it's a portfolio piece like personal work, someone can call it out and be like, yo man, like that's not gonna work. uh, or just simplify it a little bit. But I think you just learn it by doing it. That's why you just gotta do a bunch of studies and models, and Just keep cranking because that's how you learn, by making mistakes. There's no other way around it. Like, some people can come in and tell you why certain things are going to be bad, but until you fail like that, until you make those mistakes, like, you're not going to really know why and what exactly is going to happen. So quality is such a major thing that I almost never talk about, because it is a little bit more technical and not as fun to be talking about. But it is a big part of the job. So those who work in the industry and artists, because I know there's probably a mix of people watching, like, you know what I'm talking about. It is a huge thing, and it is so important. Even to this day, like, I don't do a lot of retopology anymore, but I still direct them. I still need to give them. So let's say, like, gonna have an artist do a retopo or a game model. Like, I'm not there doing it myself, but I need to be able to tell them this is gonna go wrong, or do it this way, do it that way, because I've done it enough that I know what to look for. But yeah, make sure you get your topology skills straight. Don't just watch me doing ZBrush and thinking that's not a part of the job. What's up, Jared, man? Good to see you, fool. 100%. He knows what I'm talking about because he's done it before too many times. Oh, man. Yes, yes. Don't spam. I can see it. This is actually from work. It's a 22, uh, and it's the old model. Like, I actually had to change the aspect ratio just so on the stream it looks good. But I actually have a 22 HD one that I used for, that's mine. It's on a different place in the house. But this one is the 22. I like it, man. I like the size, honestly. I think it works better with ZBrush when it's full kind of full screen. I don't have a reference board for this. I only have this concept here. And right now, I'm not looking too much at it because I'm just doing the basic pieces. As you can see, it's a pretty simple piece. I'm gonna extract some of these skulls. I'm actually gonna model, like, use the time that we have to model some of the skull. But that's the idea here. And even when I'm doing the kind of the stuff that I do with kind of the 2.0, or doing my own take on the designs, I always start with the basics of, like, what the design is. So, like, even for the Ninja Turtle or the Smash Brothers and all those characters that I kind of changed the design, I started with the kind of almost one-to-one. But then after I have everything blocked out, I started adding my own take. So, like, even things here on the skull, I know I'm just gonna add a belt to help with that shoulder pad. So it'll probably be something like coming from here, something like that. I'm gonna have it later. Like, that's not part of the design, but I know I'm gonna do something like this. I'm just gonna do my own take on it. I want to do a little bit more of a almost like a AAA version of what this design is. So this is coming. This is coming later. Like, right now, I'm not too worried about this. I'm just gonna keep extracting the stuff from the design. I started from a base mesh. Base mesh. You can find it at my Gumroad store or characterartworkshop.com. Here's the plug. No, for real though, like, you can use any base mesh from ZBrush. This is just mine because I've made it and I know what I'm doing. But ZBrush has a lot of just human base meshes you could use. All right, so let me save this, and then I am going to do a skull, a dog skull. And I don't know if I'm gonna make it like metal. I'll probably make it metal, honestly, just because if you look at the design, it has like these ears, and even though the material kind of looks like bone, it's gonna look weird if I make a bone ears like that. If it's a little more realistic, so I'll probably make this like a metal sculpt. Same thing for the belt and this kind of skull here on the sword. So let's do it. I'm just gonna start from a sphere here, not a base mesh. I don't know who you're talking about that loves the word base mesh, but I don't know. It's just a normal word, dude. Relax, chill. So I'll make a poly mesh, and then I'm gonna come here, Dynamesh, and just Dynamesh this boy. But like here, you guys, if you haven't seen like some of my sketching tutorials, like what I'm doing here, I'm just gonna try to get the shape of this kind of as close as I can, representing the skull. And this is very kind of free form. You can kind of see from the side view, front view, really kind of just very quickly just kind of sketching out. And this is very straightforward, very simple. Like if you guys have never used ZBrush, just get ZBrush and try to do that. Actually, like try to learn the brushes first, but you can kind of have some fun with it. And you can see like I'm gonna do something quick. Try to do a skull and like fast, I guess. And I've done like a lot of skulls, and skulls is something like, especially when I'm teaching, it is something that that we always recommend, or at least I always recommend people doing as their kind of first assignments, because like I've done it enough that I have the kind of the shape in mind. But good exercise just because you can follow something, and even if you're still a little bit off, it could still look pretty cool. It's kind of like it's almost like playing with clay at this point. I'm just kind of just trying to get the shape, and I can add clay, remove clay. I can do whatever I want, you know. And very quickly I can get a shape that looks kind of convincing. And again, this one has a little bit more of an ear shape, and now it's supposed to be a lot more elongated. And because I'm gonna make it metal, like I'm not too worried about making it completely like anatomical correct. Just kind of have some fun and play with the shapes a little bit more. That's kind of the beauty of it. Who's asking this? Let me see here. Sorry if I missed your question, but keep copying, but also try to understand how muscles work. Yes, like copying is the first thing for you to practice, right? Like you should have a target, and if that means like copying like an anatomy model or copying from books, like not necessarily copying a work from an artist. It's just kind of like uh, fighting a target and then hitting for it. Not everything needs to be a portfolio piece. I've done so many pieces that are not a portfolio piece that they never saw the light of day, right? But it's just getting better, practicing, you know. That's how you improve. I don't know if I put teeth here or not. Kind of the beauty of Dynamesh. See here, like I'm just pulling shapes. Then when I Dynamesh it, it's gonna give me a geo to work with. And then here I can do the same for the teeth. Pull out, inflate, and then boom. Yeah, in terms of Blender, what do I think about Blender? Man, I mean, the tool is like really impressive. I actually tried to use it like a couple weeks ago, try to get good at it. I have some friends that are trying to kind of get used to their sculpting tools and all that. I just found really hard to get used to. Like everything is just so new and complicated to me. Like it makes sense when you start using it, but damn, I need to go back to like how to rotate a model and how to move it, how to snap to a grid or whatever. Like the basics. It's just frustrating. Like I'm kill someone. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I hope that they just have some easier ways to get into. As I do when I start using, man, those real time uh, lighting tools and all that, they're like super impressive. That's the first thing that I try to do, and I was able to do it like following a tutorial. But then when I just want to do something, my own thing, I just got frustrated. But I do want to like try. Maybe I'll do it in the channel too. Like find someone who can show me the sculpting tools, like teach me the basics, and I'll do it on the channel. Like maybe I try to learn it and hopefully like show it to you guys too, like what do I think about it. It could be fun. Yeah, guys, like this is a good exercise. Like even if you guys are starting or if you want to just practice something, like find a skull. Like this is a almost like a dog skull, a wolf skull, and then just do that. Like ideally, I would split this lower jaw. Like I would mask it like this, and like split it into a new subtool. But this is gonna be like a metal skull. I don't think I even need a lower jaw, to be honest. Oh, no, it does have a lower jaw. So yeah, so it is kind of more of a metal representation of what this is. So I'm just gonna keep it all into one and treat it more as like a metal cast in some way. I mean, even the eyes are together. Hey, thanks, man. Thanks, Andrew. Thomas asking, I feel like I'm always doing too many strokes to get to a simple shape. Did you have that problem when you start modeling? How do you manage to overcome that problem? Yeah, I mean, it's something that I see a lot with people that are they're kind of starting or didn't get used to the tool yet. Like, I think you always have to start with something that's very low resolution, and a lot of shapes is fine. Like, I don't think that's a problem at all. I think the problem is when you're just starting to look into the small details at first, because I can easily go in here and start. Oh man, I'm just gonna polish these teeth. So I'm like in here, like trying to polish the teeth and like adding all the gums and all that. It's not about that. Like initially, it's just about the shape, and you need to be able to erase this teeth if you don't want it. So try to get loose with it. Like you should still try to control it, but like you don't need a lot of shapes. You don't need a lot of brushes to brush strokes or brushes to get to a shape. Try to get a little loose and just worry about the main forms, and like that's how you start visualizing things. So like right now, I got all this in here, and I can start making changes into like the jaw. Like I want to bring this closer, and I'm not too worried about destroying what I have. You know, maybe something like that. I can come in here and then almost like redo this teeth. That's kind of the fun of it. But the other way around is fine too. Like especially if you're starting and you want to like just master or kind of master in the one take. Like I've seen people who work like that, and that's fine too. You just gotta find what works for you. But what I recommend is not to worry too much about the shape and just try to get things working. So yeah, in terms of like clay buildup or just clay brush, I prefer clay. just because clay buildup gives me a lot of artifact. I do use clay buildup when I want those artifacts though. So I think it's just more in terms of what do you like to use or what kind of you prefer. Like when I want artifacts, so let's say I'm sculpting this nostril here, and like I'm gonna come in here and start building this shape. Like I know these artifacts is gonna give me. So like if I want them, you see it feels kind of natural. If I want them, I'll use them. But like right now, I'm just looking at the base shape. Like even after all this, I can come in and just smooth it all because I'm just trying to find the main shapes. So I'm gonna add the ears and try to get the ears in there. Yeah, something like that. So I'm just gonna mask it and then kind of pull it out. And this thing, like, I guess it represents Cerberus, maybe. Yeah, pretty sure. Pretty sure. Yeah, with the three heads. So it is more of a dog than a wolf. So the Dynamesh value, Hamza, it doesn't really matter because it really depends on the scale. So like right now I have 800, but what I'm looking for is the scale. Like you can see the topology is not super dense. Like if I were to scale this down and hit the same value, like it's gonna get a lot more low res. See? So don't worry too much about that. Just worry about like what kind of level of fidelity or density you want on your mesh. Like I'm not gonna go more than this because I'm not detailing. I think even this is a little too much. So that's kind of what you should look for. Stream is the internet all good? Like am I everything sounding good? Let me know. For some reason my internet is says it's like it's dying or whatever. Tips for left-handers. So I'm a left hand, but then I use everything else I do in my right hand. So I find it easier. Like I have the keyboard right here and my mouse is right here, so I can use the mouse and keyboard and still keep the my left hand in the Cintiq. But honestly, like I don't really have tips for you. I think I just got used to the just normal setups. Like that's why all my brushes are on the left side. You can't really see because the screen is kind of compressed just for the stream, but I have a bunch of brushes here. But I try to keep a bunch of the stuff that's useful for me, like here on the left side. I don't do it on the bottom. I just kind of do it here. So yeah, I'm just gonna. So this is kind of how I usually work for accessories like this. I know there's like new tools for it, like even the new ZBrush, they show some tools to just keep working with instances and all that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna save this as a new subtool, and for now, I'm gonna throw this into the other mesh, just as a placeholder. I'm actually gonna finish this in that other file when I do it for real. But like even here, I can kind of see. So okay, I'll give you guys one tip. Just if I'm doing this for real, like if I'm just not sketching, like what I can do here is make a layer. Make a layer. I'll actually make two layers, and I'm just gonna pose using this layer, and I'm gonna put him here. And I just gotta be careful not to do any sort of edits using move or anything on this right here. I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna scale him down. He's pretty big. So then if I want to make edits, so without losing my symmetry, what I'm gonna do is just gonna make another one here and call it edits, right? And I can come in here and kind of start making changes based on the design. So when I'm happy with this, and I'm like you can see, I'm at this point I'm just breaking symmetry, right? The secret here is that when I'm happy with these edits, I can just turn off this pose layer and still finish this up here. So let's say I'm gonna add detail symmetrical. You know, when I turn this on, like it would just jump back in place. I can keep this layer here just for position, and then I can kind of finish this up with symmetry in the neutral position here. I'm just gonna erase this garbage here. Yeah, that's kind of like one way to do it. The one thing that I would also, I would still, you know, I like to just keep this into another subtool just so I can have it, but that's just like one way to do it for sure. Yeah, something like that. And then for the belts, right now, like this only has like, it has 3 kind of cartoony skulls, like, which are pretty cool. I'll treat them like same way as just kind of like on the belt, and make it a little more like a metal skull. So for this, I'm just gonna mask here and then extract. Just do this real quick, guys, and then we'll jump into some questions, and then we're done for today. I'll try to do this more on streams if you guys want to see more of the process for this guy. It could be fun. Yeah, same thing for this guy. Like the skull here is pre-stylized skull, and kind of come in here, draw it in shape, pretty basic, and very quickly start getting the shape that I want. And Halloween's right here, guys. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing for Halloween, and let me know if you guys are up for it. Just do like a little sketching group where we all kind of sketch some pumpkins in ZBrush, and then we can kind of all share the. Especially now that pumpkin patches and all that stuff is going to be closed, that could be a cool, fun little thing that we could do together for Halloween. Stuff like this, you know, like from a sphere, and then make a little pumpkin, have some fun, sketch out some designs, and I'll do one live if you guys want to. If you've never done it before, and I can kind of walk you through the steps. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this very quickly here. Get rid of this. And then again, this will be kind of metal at the end. So then I'm gonna put one here, 2 little ones, and then use the subtool master to mirror to the other side. So yeah, guys, let me get some questions here, and then we'll wrap it up for today. I don't have a Discord. Honestly, like I've used it just a few times. I don't really know what I'm doing with that. So yeah, for hair, Coral Media was asking how I did the hair from like Kill la Kill and stuff. Check out my my ZBrush presentation that I did this week. I actually go more deeper into hair, but basically I use the kind of clay tubes, fiber mesh. I do a lot of sculpting plus fiber mesh, and then for these kind of more final illustration pieces, I do some painting on top. But it's kind of a mix of a lot of different things. There's also a more in-depth tutorial at characterartworkshop.com. If you guys go there, there's a hair workshop that I did that I really explain step by step, and I do it live if you guys want to check it out. Salve, salve, salve. Vou dar um salve pro Brasil. I didn't know. So Jimmy, like for the countdown, I'll do that next time. It's just like it's just random. I was gonna start this today, and then I decided to turn it on. Like I didn't have time to plan. When I'm doing another interview, there's a podcast. I did a podcast for ArtStation this week. I don't know when it's gonna come online, but that was a fun podcast. If you guys want to check it out, it's on their YouTube channel. Man, I did the thing with like subscription to try to see if I can get the. I don't know what I'm doing with the stream stuff, so I was trying to do the subs to work, like when people subscribe and show it up as like, hey, this person subscribe. It seems like it's just not working, man. I'll try it again next time. But yeah, guys, make sure you guys subscribe just in case. And then I don't know how this works with like turn on to get an alert if I go live. Like I'll do it on my Instagram, and I'll do it. But I don't know. Hopefully, YouTube should let you know if you hit that if you hit the bell, I think, or something. Yeah. But I'll keep messing with this. I want to try to get the chat on the screen as well, and just so I can kind of read you. And I'm only doing this on YouTube. Like some people ask me if I was on Twitch or Facebook or whatever. Like I'm looking into streaming to like different platforms and stuff, but I prefer doing it on YouTube. Like I don't want to do a lot of noise elsewhere. Like just getting you guys to come here. Like I want to use more of the platform. I want to do some more of these videos of just quick sketches and talking about the sketch and that kind of stuff. So yeah, like tips and tricks. I'll definitely do some videos of like that. Hey, now it's working. Hey, that's awesome. And I got the venom. Cheers, guys. Thank you. But yeah, more of the kind of tutorials for whatever you guys want to know, honestly. Like even here, we just answer a bunch of questions, and I know sometimes it's kind of rushed, and I want to do more stuff in Portuguese also for people who are from Brazil and want to know a little bit more. And the lives always stay saved if you guys want to watch in the channel. I know it's not the same thing as watching it live because I want to interact with you guys, but it's always up, man. And it's just fun. Like I hope you guys enjoy and keep asking questions. Again, like if I miss your question, I'll get back to it and try to answer it, or we'll just hit it again. Like this Cobra. If I recommend tablets for a beginner, would it go with smaller and Cintiq, or if there's any other tablet? So let me actually. It's a good question because let me see if I can bring it up. Yeah, guys, here. So this is like the XP Pen 22. So The reason why I'm not using this is because I got this is from work, and I have my kind of work setup here. So I'm using the like, just the work Cintiq, but this one is like the XP Pen 22 HD, which is kind of like about the same size. Like the I guess the downside on this one is that you can't really do the arm, and I have the arm set up here because I sometimes I'm using the tablet, sometimes I'm not. I don't know if you guys can see me. Let me see if this is working. But yeah, like sometimes I have the tablet, sometimes I don't want it, so I just put it away. And I have like an arm, like the ergonomic arm, and it makes it easier for me when I'm working because I'm not on the tablet. I'm very rarely using the Cintiq when I'm working, so I can just put it on the side. Uh, but this one is such a good deal for beginners, and actually more like not even for beginners, but uh, if you don't want to drop like thousands and thousands of dollars into something, check out the XP Pen. I did a review on my Instagram when they sent me this one. I had one before, and they sent me this one to test it. And this is, I definitely recommend. I have two of the Cintiqs, the smaller ones, the 21 HD, um, like the smaller ones that you can. Like I use that for my laptop. I don't really recommend the smaller ones, to be honest. Um, like just go. It's better if you go a little bit bigger with something that's not as high quality, because size, to me, my opinion, okay, but size is like the one of the biggest factors into tablets. If you're going with like a display tablet like this, if you're going with something like just the I don't even know what's like, just like Wacom, just the smaller one. That's not a display, just the drawing tablet. Go like then I don't know, go with Wacom or get some different ones. But it's been so many years that I've used one of those that I can't even recommend anything. Um, I only use Cintiqs or like the XP Pen, where it's more display tablet. But I have them. Where is it? I have a bunch of them because I've been testing it over the years. Uh, so yeah, go with yeah, size matters. Confirmed. That's pretty good. Yeah, I definitely prefer like just go with the bigger size because it makes a huge difference on especially ZBrush where there's so many little menus and things to use. So yeah, check out the on my Instagram too. There's a review for this XP Pen one. Actually, there's a review because I got two of them, so I made a review for the other one, which I actually prefer. There's a newer version where they fixed a couple things on the screen where it doesn't like get because it doesn't get as like doesn't stick as much as some of the other ones, and quality feels a little bit better. So yeah, go check that out. Yeah, Jay was asking what's the approximate time to make a full character in production. Man, like that's like it really varies because complexity definitely impacts the time, but usually is about 2 months from beginning to end. But you would do a high res in about a month and a half, depending on the complexity, and then a couple more weeks for low res and textures and all that. Yeah, I saw that Glauco was trying the VR, and I tried it before, and it's awesome. I just don't really have time for it. Like when I'm doing my kind of personal stuff, I'm doing more of this, a little bit more design work, and not so much focusing on sculpting. Um, but I definitely want to get more into it, and I've been talking to him just to try out some stuff. I have a VR set as well, and it's been a while since I've used it, and I want to get one of the new ones if I want to use the medium and all that. So maybe in the future. XP Pen is good for drawing as well. Yeah, it does. It does pretty much the job as the Cintiq. To be honest, the Cintiq just feels, especially now that I'm used to it for so many years, it feels a higher quality. But if you're gonna put them both on side by side and compare the amount, the value that you get versus the result, the end result, I I would recommend going with the XP pen if you don't want to drop with, $4,000 into a display. With like 800 bucks, you can get a pretty legit one. So, but if you have the 4 grand, yeah, why not? Yeah, just go for it. It really depends on I guess how much money you're making, what's the investment you're gonna make, because you can do the job with the XP pen, 100%. Do you recommend? Carlos was asking if I recommend a character artist have a strong texturing skills, or clay renders enough. No, man. Texture skills is a must have. Don't get uh, don't get the illusion that you can get away with just sculpting. Like, especially if you want to be a character artist, work for games and all that, textures are a must have. So texture, topology, bakes, substance, marmoset, just get all that stuff nailed down. Sculpting is, probably the main thing you want to focus on, but you gotta sharpen your skills all over. All right, guys, we're reaching like an hour here, and I want to do this again. Like, maybe we do it throughout this week or on the weekend. So make sure you subscribe. Like, do what I said. Like, turn on the notification or whatever. I don't know if YouTube is gonna tell you guys, but I do appreciate you guys showing up. Please show up again next time, and I'll keep answering the questions. I'll show more tips on the kind of finalizing this, and more in the process. I'm gonna do a little bit of work on the side, try to get everything else blocked out. But before I get too far into it, I'll jump in another live and another stream, and we'll go through some of the steps again and try to finish this. Thanks again, guys. I know I didn't get to all the questions. There's so many questions, and I want to answer all of them. But we'll have more opportunities to do that. I can't really do everything in just an hour. I gotta go watch the kids and eat lunch and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. You guys do the same. Uh, Stay inspired. Like, sketch some stuff. I hope you guys got something out of this. I'm doing this for you guys to try to help. So definitely go sketch something, ask questions. The stream's gonna be saved in the channel as usual, and we'll go from there. Cheers, guys. Thanks, man. Thank you. Thanks, Tolu. Thanks, Andres. You guys are awesome. Cheers, guys. What, you playing The Sims 4? What are you doing, man? Don't play that. Go play Hades. Go play the Mario Collection. Go do something cool. Okay? Some fun. There you go. Yeah, sketching what the stream was going. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to sketch together. That's the fun stuff. And yeah, tag me on Instagram stories, and I want to check out what you guys have been sketching too. All right, guys.